What's up everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. Being able to boot up a game and connect with people all around the world is still a novel concept to me. Sure, today it's nothing special. In fact, some games today are only online multiplayer. Now growing up I did have an original Xbox. However, I didn't really dabble with the online experience at the time. My online experience more came from the Xbox 360, which we're gonna get into. But let me take you back to 2009. I was in my living room with my parents watching them play Left 4 Dead 2, the finale of the first campaign to be exact, Dead Center, and they were playing with people who were talking. Now, sure, we didn't have a mic at the time, but they had mics and they were talking and we could hear them, and that was so cool to me as a kid. I wanted to play the online so bad. However, I was too young. My parents wouldn't let me. That was the excuse they gave me. I'm sure they had their reasons, but it didn't matter in the long run because after a couple years, I was able to wear them down to let me get my own Xbox Live subscription. So my mom and dad bought an Xbox 360 for the family, and I would spend hours on this thing. More specifically, hours spent on Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. More Left 4 Dead 2, but only because I thought Left 4 Dead 2 did so many more things better than the first game. And at this point, we did own a microphone, so I was able to talk with the people all around the world through Xbox Live, and I gotta say, this is some of the most fun I had as a kid. However, I was done sharing. Remember, it was a family console, so I had to share with my siblings and obviously my mom and dad, but I was tired of that, so I saved up my own money and I bought my own Xbox 360. And this right here is still my original Xbox 360 model. I did put stickers on it as a kid because I was a dumb kid. However, though, I still think it adds a lot of character to the system. This is the original model that I saved up for. I have a lot of memories with this console, and it's still a pretty decent console. And you know, in fact, Xbox 360s are relatively cheap these days. You can find them online for like $50, $60. And I record a lot of my games using the Xbox 360 just because it's so convenient for me. It's a good console. Now with these games, I spent a lot of time playing Xbox Live on. Now I didn't play Left 4 Dead 1 as much as I played Left 4 Dead 2, but Left 4 Dead 1 still has its merits, and I will say it is still a good multiplayer shooter. But that didn't matter because Left 4 Dead 2 literally did everything better. It added melee weapons, there were more special infected to fight. I met some of the coolest people on Left 4 Dead 2. Some of them I don't have contact with anymore, and some of them I'm still friends with to this day. Every day after school, I would come home, sit in the living room, and play Left 4 Dead 2. It didn't matter whose account I was on. Just as long as it had Xbox Live Gold, I wanted to play. I wish the Xbox 360 kept track of how much time a person played a game. And if it does, let me know in the comments below because I do want to check that shit out from my profile. But to my knowledge, I don't think it does, and that's really a shame because I would really love to show, or at least see, how much of a loser I was back then. When my family would go out and explore the city, I would stay home and boot up the old Call of Duty games. I did have fun with Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2, but I gotta tell you, man, nothing compared to Black Ops. I spent so much time on Black Ops. The multiplayer was really captivating and the gunplay was at some of its best. I will argue that. Do not fight me. The maps were great and the weapons were vast and balanced. If I wasn't on the multiplayer, then I most likely was in the combat training with my brother playing Split. Honestly, this game, this Call of Duty game was just so much fun to me. I think this Call of Duty game, as long as the rest of the Golden Age Call of Duty games, really captures something that the newer Call of Duty games can't seem to get for some reason. Now, Resident Evil 5 brought the Resident Evil experience to the next-gen consoles, the Xbox 360 and PS3. And while I did play a lot of Resident Evil 5, it was more split screen with my brother. However, my Resident Evil multiplayer experience was spent on these two games. Yeah, Capcom released 2 Resident Evil games in 2012. First starting with Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, then later in October with Resident Evil 6. Yes, this is the archive version. I got the archives version. Both of these games are shunned by the Resident Evil community, but I kind of like them. I think they're really good. And I'm also sure I've lost a ton of job opportunities by stating that. But I do think that these games are fun. Well, more Operation Raccoon City than Resident Evil 6, but I do think Resident Evil 6 does have its moments. One online experience I think is really cool, and I really wish it would have been expanded upon, was that in Resident Evil 6, every campaign is designed to where they cross over with each other. So this makes it into a 4-player Resident Evil game. Don't know what I'm talking about? Let me explain real quick. Let's say 2 people are playing Leon's story in Resident Evil 6. They are going through their story. Then 2 people are playing with Sherry's story, Sherry and Jake. These 2 campaigns, at one point in their stories, cross over to fight a boss. Leon meets up with Sherry. Then the people who are playing Sherry and Jake and the people who are playing Leon and Helena are now teaming up together to take on a giant boss. That is like really fucking cool! In a way that they do this is a 4-player experience, not unlike Operation Raccoon City, which they dived in just months before. Also, my first time playing Resident Evil 6, I did run into somebody who offered to complete the entirety of the game with me. That didn't include the Ada stuff, because at that time Ada was still only single player. Yeah, the second guy in Ada's campaign was added later on in a patch to make that campaign multiplayer as well. You know, the more you know. Also on the Steam version, which always made me mad, I'm not gonna lie, is that they had the Left 4 Dead 2 cast come in to play in the Mercenaries mode, and I was just so jealous that the Xbox didn't get that. I mean, it was already there. Both franchises were on the console. Microsoft, you telling me there was no way you could have done that? Come on! However, I am not gonna lie. Operation Raccoon City was where it was at. I actually love this game. And to prove that I love this game, I actually own 3 copies of it. This was my original copy of Raccoon City. I really wanted it really bad, so, you know, I got it on day 1. And then somehow I managed to end up with a second copy of it. I don't know how. And then when I was browsing a local game store, I found the special edition version that I had no idea even existed, so I picked it up. I was really excited for this game. I got the magazine for this game, and I must have read the pages covering this game like over and over and over again. I was really excited for it. And when the day came and I got it in my hands, I played the shit out of it. Now, when this game released, it was really cool because this was like the first time we actually got to explore Raccoon City on our own again, and I really love how they brought Raccoon City to the 6th generation of consoles. Not only was there cooperative multiplayer where you could find 3 friends to play with online and complete the campaign together, but there was also a competitive mode where people would take to online and fight each other in a bunch of different game modes. However, unfortunately, those people do no longer play the game anymore. In fact, no one plays the game anymore, so it's really hard to even get onto these online servers. In fact, to get the online multiplayer experience I did in this current time, I had to beg my brother to get the game and his friend so we could at least play through it, and we did, and that was a lot of fun. Now, I eventually want to make a video on this game, so I'm not really going to go into depth with it here, and I'm going to save my thoughts for then. And with it being backwards compatible now, which, I mean, yeah, about fucking time, I could finally play it on my Xbox One and experience it a bit better because the frame rate in this was not the greatest. However, I don't think backwards compatibility will have anyone still playing it, so. And for God's sake, bring it back to Steam. What the hell? You guys just took it down, and people who bought it can't even play it anymore. Put it back up. Oh man, back in middle school, I had a buddy, and we did nothing but play the Aliens vs. Predator multiplayer. This was actually a really fun time. I remember enjoying it a lot, actually. The multiplayer had you switch between the 3 factions. You could be the Predator, the Aliens, or the Marines. However, the only catch is that you alternated between which one you got to play as. You didn't get to pick who you played as. I guess to keep the game balanced, they decided to alternate you through. So if you wanted to be the Predator, well, tough shit, you gotta sit through playing as an alien and a Marine first. I remember it being so frustrating to get onto an online match and having to sit through being a Marine or an alien first to finally get to play as the Predator. I loved the Predator's playstyle in this game. I thought it was really fun. The aliens being a bit nauseating and dizzying for me, and also just very loose in the way it controlled. And if you were playing the Marines, well, I felt really bad for you. I never really saw a Marine team win, and also they were just so underpowered that I don't even think they could win unless you had numbers on your side. I went through a really big AVP kick back in middle school, and this game really did fill a bunch of the need I needed for the series back then. Now right there, I pretty much just explained to you the peak of my Xbox 360 Xbox Live experience. I mean, I did play other franchises that I didn't talk about in this video, and I did that to keep myself from sounding repetitive, like Dead Island, that had cooperative multiplayer, that was fun. The Halo Reach, that had cooperative multiplayer, and that was fun. Oh man, I got this off of a friend a while ago, and he had, I guess he had like classes for what they were in this big list with all Halo Reach ranks. Oh my god. However, finally, the Xbox One said, hey, we're gonna get our shit together finally. And they did, and the Xbox 360 took an obvious backseat. Before the Xbox One had backwards compatibility, yes, there was actually a time of that. If you wanted to play some Xbox 360 game, well, you had to play it on the Xbox 360. And one of those games was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. In 2017, I brought my Xbox 360 over to another buddy's house, and we set up 2 TVs next to each other, hooked our 360s up, and started playing Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. And while we were playing the multiplayer, by chance, someone had a microphone and they were talking. So I scrambled to go get my microphone and I started chatting them right back up. We played more games after that, diving into more games after that, and we quickly became friends. And we are still friends to this day. In fact, he was in my most recent Black Ops 2 video, and a couple old PUBG videos we did in the past, but don't watch those. Now, I would be here all day if I were just to go into detail on every, Xbox Live experience that I had. But I did want to end on one more Xbox Live experience. And in fact, it happened recently. For old time's sake, I dug out my 360. In fact, it is what inspired this video. And I just wanted to play games on my 360. I guess I just wanted to feel the controller in my hand, playing games on an actual 360 and the nostalgia that brought with it. And one of the first games I popped in was Call of Duty World at War. The Act Man really made this game seem cool, so I really wanted to jump in and, get some of that World at War experience. Because I actually skipped over this game. I don't know why, I just didn't play it. I was more into Black Ops. So I took it out, put the game in my console, booted up the multiplayer, and yep, you guessed it, it was pretty dead. I mean, I didn't know what I expected. Normally when you go into these old Call of Duty games, the lobbies are normally dead, and once in a blue moon, you'll probably find a Call of Duty game. But these happen more frequently in the newer releases, such as like Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2. You'll more likely find games there than you will in a game that released in 2008. However, right when I was just about to give up hope, I jumped into a game, and I was amazed. I was playing World at War online for the first time in the year 2022 on an Xbox 360. I guess my prayers must have been answered, because I was losing hope. Instead of just getting a little taste, the unthinkable happened. I got invited to a party. Just like the real soldiers, it's never truly understood what was spoke on the battlefield. The same was here. Unfortunately, none of the audio was captured on what me and my fellow troops said on the battlefield. However, I will give you a little rundown of what was there. So I joined into a party with these guys. They seemed like decent blokes. I decided to join up with them, and we were going to tackle the achievement Blue Ribbon. Now, if you don't know what the achievement Blue Ribbon is basically the campaign in World at War is 4-player cooperative co-op. And that is really cool. I just said cooperative co-op. What the hell is wrong with me? It's 4-player co-op, and they base it on a point system. Whoever gets the most points out of all 4 players gets the achievement Blue Ribbon for, scoring it first. And we decided we were going to give everyone a turn. Because if you have 3 friends just sitting around wanting to run it, getting an achievement like this in the year 2022 is pretty difficult. So we decided we were going to do it now while we had the chance. So we did it. One by one, getting the achievement Blue Ribbon. We were 4 men, lost in the land of confusion. These guys, I really felt like they had my back and that I could trust them. When I went down in San Fe, I was revived several times. They really had me. You boys, I thank you. But after we were done killing the different factions, it was time to kill zombies. Yes, after the boys and I were done with the multiplayer, we decided to hop on the zombies one last time to see how it held up, and I gotta say, many laughs were had. It was a pretty good time. I have a lot of memories with Xbox 360, Xbox Live. In fact, it's where I spent a lot of my gaming time at in my younger years. I'd also be a little remiss if I didn't even bring up the marketplace or the avatar store. These were also big parts of Xbox Live. You know, the avatar store to customize your little guy, obviously Microsoft's take on the Mii's. And the marketplace, which had a shit ton of games on there from all over, from arcade, on demand, and indie titles, which unfortunately is no longer there. I did a whole video on that on my second channel, just browsing through it, and if you want to check that out, you can go down in the description below and I'll have a link for you right there. But guys, that is going to be it for today. Did you guys have any Xbox Live memories of your own? Please let me know in the comments below. I think nothing will truly ever be as great as Xbox Live 360. Of course, Xbox Live hasn't gone away. I mean, it's still on the Xbox One and the Series X. I mean, those are still consoles that are out today. But the magic of what made Xbox 360 Xbox Live is, I think, missing. It's gone. It's not in this. We were still in kind of an early part of gaming, so it wasn't really as developed as it is now. I have an Instagram, I have a Twitter, and you guys can go follow me. The links to those will be in the description below. And hey, while you're down there, can I get you to hit that like button? Can we get this video up to 10 likes? That'll be much appreciated. While you're down there, why don't you hit that subscribe button and the bell for post notifications, because I wouldn't want you to miss a single upload of mine. Well guys, that's gonna do it for me. I'm gonna get out of here, and yeah, y'all take care.